Listen up. Your customers, our listeners, could be hearing about your business right now. Yeah, right now. Don't miss out on the opportunity to advertise with NewOrleansTalkNetwork.com. Call our business department today at 504-475-4793 to hear about our great rates. NewOrleansTalkNetwork.com. We provide the people, you provide the business.
FanView Live, new time, 12 p.m. each and every Thursday on the Warren's Talk Network. Join me, DatBoyFred.
GSportz in the building. Coach Hurricane Hit.
Yeah, I'm woke. Elevate.
Ball game.
You dig. You dig.
Because if you go back and listen to what I said,
Okay.
I didn't say that.
Okay,
That's what I said. I didn't say he was going to actually win it.
Who the hell cares about MVP candidate?
That means
either you gonna
Boy,
win
that's
that.
an extra $3 million in your
Either you
contract
gonna
of
win that.
incentives.
Either you gonna. Hey, it's like going to the prom.
You never know what might happen.
I
You never know.
almost won the prom.
Look,
But I will say this. I will say this though. I bet you every damn thing I own that Michigan won't win a goddamn national championship. You can't puff up your chest. You can't puff up. Can you say that? Can you say that? Hold on. This young man just said disrespectful.
I'm a realist.
Because in 19 when I say we was winning that bitch and Joe and Burrow was winning the Heisman, you said I was drinking bleach. You said I was wrong, and look what happened. I have yet
Save it.
Fury is the better boxer. I don't think Deontay Wilder is going to hit him with the lucky punch and knock him out.
Lucky?
Wow. Lucky punch. He's not going to do it. He's going to get outboxed. He's going to lose again. And as great as a career that he's had, and I'm proud of it, I'm happy for it because he didn't start off traditionally as a boxer. He was a former football player, came over here, tried out boxing to do something for him and his family. He's had a phenomenal career. But come Saturday night, he's going to lose. And it's over. Welcome back, FanView Live, Real Fans Talk Sports on the Warren's Talk Network. Got real heated last week, baby. Got the spice back. We all over the place, baby. Yeah. Listen, I'm that boy, Fred.
GSportz in the building.
Ooh, that look. Let me lean back.
And what the fans really want, Hurricane Hen back again.
The Cardinals 5-0.
Starts early.
Kyler Murray continues his MVP race.
Whew. That he's in third place at least.
Ooh. Who first? Exactly.
Lamar.
Crickets.
Lamar
has, after the performance on Thursday night.
Lamar.
Or was it Monday night?
Monday night.
I'm sorry.
Monday night.
Performance on Monday night, I would put him first. Kyler is second. You're right. Okay. I can agree to that.
Lamar.
Whew. Much going on FanView Live, y'all. Listen, subscribe to this FanView Live page of you on Facebook. Subscribe to FanView Live of you on YouTube. We're also on IG at FanView Live. It's FanView No Love You on Twitter. Subscribe to the page each and every Thursday for noon. You get to check us out live to talk this sports action. It's been going diggity. Still much to get into. So much to get into in this show. We're going to be talking about John Gruden. We're going to be talking Chiefs. The Big Ten got 5 teams in the top 10, baby. Not the SEC. Must be talked about. But we start this show off with who that talk. The Saints, Washington football team. What's y'all guys' take on this Sunday's victory over the Washington football team? And who's y'all MVP of the game? You know, when y'all look at this game and you say, man, look, everything that was achieved, everything's accomplished to get this win. Who y'all had the MVP of this past Sunday's win of Washington? It still is funny. Get a name, goddammit. Washington football team.
The MVP of the game is clearly Sean Payton. All right. let's just go ahead and put it out there. Sean Payton is the best coach in the NFL right now. I don't care what you say. All the different circumstances that we went through with Hurricane Ida, all right, losing Micah Thomas the first 6 weeks of the season, not having a kicker, losing 2 Pro Bowl caliber offensive linemen, all right, losing one of your best interior linemen in Daniel Yamada, losing 8 coaches in week 2 versus the Carolina Panthers, and we are still 3-2 going into this bye week. He is clearly the MVP. Still being able to put up 33 points when Jameis Winston went 15 for 30 and had 2 turnovers. Yes, he made some big-time plays with the play to Deontay Harris and the Hail Mary to Callaway before the half. But other than that, Jameis Winston had an average game, in my opinion. So for us to still put up 33 points, being able to run the ball the way we did against a really stout defense, I thought that was very impressive. Dennis Allen is another one who needs to be co-MVP. All right, he's not getting enough praise in all of this. What he's doing with our defense is just unbelievable. Lattimore, listen, baby, you earning every bit of that contract that you got. What you did to McLaren on Sunday was just phenomenal. You followed him around the field. You playing at an elite level right now. I think he's asserted himself as a top 3 corner in the NFL. The only thing that I worry about with the Saints in this game is that we didn't really show we had lack of a pass rush. I think we second to last in the NFL right now in sacks. That's my concern with us, and that was my concern in that game. I thought Heineke had a little too much time. Good thing our secondary played at a high level. And like I say, for us to be able to win that game with Deontay Harris going down with the hamstring, Taysom Hill getting his head knocked off, getting carted off with being concussed, Sean Payton has to definitely be the MVP, and I'm just hoping that coming out this bye week, we can get a lot of our players back and try to see if we can hit some type of stride.
For me, I think it's the offensive line by far. You missed 2, like SG alluded to. You missed 2 of your perennial starters to only give up 1 sack.
Mm-hmm.
And Ryan Ramczyk was up to the task of Chase Young. Now Chase Young had 1 good move, but out of 50 snaps, Ryan Ramczyk won 49 of them.
Right.
To be able to run the ball the way we did, even when the passing game wasn't hitting all the deep passes, all the play actions and stuff, to eliminate that. I think was a huge component of us going farther in this game. Also, I'd like to give a co-MVP to Chris Richard. What we've done with the pass, we know what we got out of Lattimore. We know what we got out of Williams now. But that revolving door at nickel and cornerback number 2, opposite of especially when you have Lattimore following the best wide receiver, to not give up no big pay that we've given up every single game this season so far in 5 games, is a huge shout out to them, especially when you have lack of pass rush and
Right.
Dennis Allen, which I understand, not willing to blitz a mobile quarterback to actually rely on the secondary, and they was up for the chance. So I think it's you got to give a huge shout out to the offensive line and to Chris Richard for having the secondary ready to go with the game plan that we had this week.
Believe it or not, folks, I agree with both of y'all. But my MVP of the game is the action punter, Blake Gilkin.
Did a good job. Did a real good job.
Did a real phenomenal job. We talking about the guy had maybe 3 punts, all of them inside the 20. He had a couple of them that rolled out of bounds and was within the 5. And then he had one that was bounced in bounds and it downed it on the 5. I mean, he had over a 60-yard punt in that game. The way he changed the field on Sunday, to me, not helping the Washington football team get any yards, making sure they having to drive, not just, 20, 30, or 40 yards down the field to get to the end zone, get to the in field goal range. They have to drive the field. And to me, that's who my MVP of the game is. Jameis had a heck of a game with the deep balls. He, 15 to 30. He had over, 300-some yard passing. He had 4 touchdowns. He had a solid game. Lattimore with the pass deflections that he had. He leads the league in pass deflections this year. I think he has 10 pass defenses. on the season. He had a phenomenal game the way he was ready to find out McLaughlin throughout the game. But to me, my MVP is the punter. The change of field position in this game was big, and it went so unnoticed. And I know a lot of people, again, punters are not sexy. They're not the common household. They're not the quarterback. They're not the wide receiver, mainly because they don't score points. But what he did in this game, to me, he was my MVP.
Yeah. I mean, he had 3 punts inside the 20.
Inside the 20.
When you're doing that, being able to flip that field position, now you got to go 90, 85 yards on our defense. That's tough.
That's tough.
And, I'm just watching the game, just watching us over the last few weeks. The pass rush is a concern.
I agree.
That's really a concern. I know when Anyamata comes back, that's going to help us. And Davenport, when he comes back, that should help us. But I'm really concerned about that going forward. I'm hoping when they get back that we are able to get 4-man pressure. Because if we not, when we play against Brady, it's going to be a tall task being able to stop that offense with all the weapons they got. Latimer, one person. I love the way Debo is playing. I think Roby's going to get better and better as the season goes on. I love the way our rookie P. Werner is playing. I think Peyton Turner's coming along. But they got a bevy of weapons over there in Tampa. So
not much conversation about Chauncey Gardner-Johnson so far this year. Like he's playing, but last year he had a lot of
week one against the Packers. It was his best game.
Right.
I think he missed the game against the Panthers.
Yeah.
And a game against the Patriots, he had a solid game. On Sunday, he had a solid game. He's not hurting us by no stretch of the imagination. But I'm like I say, man, my pass rush is just non-existent. When you second to last in the league in sacks, that's very concerning.
Well, it goes to what I was saying earlier about not earlier to this show, but like a couple weeks ago, with Cam Jordan. When you asking him to be your mainstay, and he does look. I love the guy. If you're a true Saints fan, you appreciate everything he's done for our franchise.
Yeah, it goes in the ring of honor.
But the thing about it is, he doesn't have that extra oomph to get to the pass, to get to the quarterback. Now, running towards him, I still think he's probably like one of the best run-stopping defensive ends right there.
Right.
But like on third down, you have to shift him somewhere. I think passing Takia Javi, probably last name, the guy that we got in free agency from the Giants. With him coming along, C.J. Granderson was the only guy to get a sack for us this week. When you get Davenport back, when you get Anyamata back, when you get more help around them, I think our pass rush goes back. Because even without, we still was able to get 9 quarterback hurries with dominant run defenders. That's saying something. That's a credit to Ryan Neeson, who I've been saying for the past couple of years. I think is the best D-line coach in the league, and it shows. There's a reason why he's the assistant head coach now. But it's small things like that will change our defense in a big way. Pete Warner coming along.
Pete Warner looked really good. Led the team in tackles.
He
8 solos.
Not asking too much of DeMario Davis. When Quan comes back along.
That's another one.
So like you looking at like possibly being able to go a true 4-3 and send guys that can actually get after the quarterback, but also can peel off in coverage, and you won't lose nothing on it all.
And I'm just asking the question: you're thinking that possibly when you get a healthy D-line, that maybe on first and second down, possibly. Basically, Cam Jordan's used to being that guy who played that every snap. You were just basically saying that he's possibly not that player no more.
No. What I'm
not
saying,
negatively, but
you're
reaching a place where, hey, listen, I know he's comfortable playing with every snap on every defensive down, but he getting to the point where I'm not saying he's a liability on the field by any stretch of the imagination, but maybe he takes some plays off now.
No, I don't think he takes plays off. It's the fact of he is the guy. He still would never get single man coverage. They're always going to chip or slide something or have an extra eye on him. He's not that guy no more that could consistently beat a 2-man or a slide scheme. But when you put him in a situation where you have to block him one-on-one, like every time that they had to block him one-on-one, he got back there.
but we're playing a mobile quarterback, which most of the league is going towards. I think we might be the only division where we have just 2 legit pocket passes in Matt Ryan.
The whole
and,
division.
Well, what Sam Darnold can
Sam Darnold can
he
move.
had to.
Yeah.
Sam Darnold can move.
But
Jameis can move.
but Tom, you're not expecting Tom to
Or
run.
Matt.
You're not expecting Matt unless it's designed rollouts to get away. Going toward if we push toward the playoffs, everybody that's on the top end of the spectrum outside of the Rams has a mobile quarterback. So when you put us in a position when you can literally go out there and say, here's Davenport, Anyamata, Cam Jordan, and Peyton Turner as your front four in the pass rush situation, everybody gets one-on-one.
Before we got to talk about this Saints game, leading up to the bye.
Well, y'all asked before the segment started, do you think we're gonna make the playoffs?
Yeah.
And I know we talked about it last week. Right now, as of today, if the playoffs started today, we will be on the outside looking in.
Right.
We are 8th. They're only keeping 7. The good thing is, I think Seattle's about to be. I think they about to plummet.
Yeah.
With
Russell Wilson.
Russell Wilson going down for 6 to 8 weeks. Now they got to rely on Geno Smith, which is going to help us out. We going down to Seattle on a Monday night game, so we should win that game. And then
We still got the rest of our division to play.
right. And Chicago, they 3-2. I don't expect Chicago to keep that record, and keep that momentum going the rest of the season. So I think we might have a shot.
Last season.
Russell Wilson getting hurt really helped us.
Yeah.
Agreed. Now, shifting gears, getting ready to move on. Big time news happening in the NFL. For a lot of people, it came out of left field with the resignation of John Gruden. Obviously, the NFL is doing a big report on Washington football team's former general manager and president, Bruce Allen. And doing that report, some emails got out about John Gruden. Those emails have, came out talking about DeMaurice Smith. They were talking about Roger Goodell. More importantly, he was, had some inappropriate comments about, players who were, had a, homosexual, gay, and that's what to me led to the resignation. Coach, what is your take on John Gruden's resignation? And is his career done as a coach?
He'll never coach again. He'll never coach again. Not on this level or even the college level. He'll never be on TV broadcasting again. Like you can kill the quarterback camp or whatever. I can't remember Gruden camp. The segment before the draft. Simply because it's a liability. Now, my whole take from everything is, what more do you expect? This is a guy who his players, and I'm not even talking about the Keyshawn Johnsons, the Warren Sapps, the guys that's just already out there that people
Antonio
like,
Brown.
that just that you like. If they say something, you kind of take it with a grain of salt because of the type of personality they had.
Gotcha.
But your John Lynch's, your Derek Brooks, your Booger McFarland's, your Khalil Macks, who have all say similar things to this about his personality. But I just want, like, the thing that's lost on me throughout this whole process is people really don't understand the role of the commissioner. And because there was like, it should be more. We want all the stuff released. We want all, and his job is to protect the 32 billionaires that he works for.
Yeah, pretty much.
And Gruden was one of those, like, you kept hearing his name, like they kind of like none of the other owners liked the type of contract that he got. Now what does that do for the coaching market for us? Because we want to keep our money. So now you can give a guy who hadn't coached, only got one Super Bowl ring, give him a 10-year, $100 million contract and some ownership stake. So next time my franchise need a quarterback, do I have to do something? I mean, not quarterback coach. Do I have to do something similar? So they kind of they won that battle. It's a reason why just his stuff was leaked. Because if we get a real investigation, I want to see the reply emails. I want to see all this other stuff because people forget that
a lot more people lose jobs, coaching.
He wasn't working. And here's the thing too: he wasn't working for the NFL. He was working for ESPN. So now you can't burn the ESPN bridge. You can't burn the other owner. So now
Brown.
you gotta, you really got, like, so he's the sacrificial lamb. So he's gonna go. He'll never coach
in the NFL or college capacity again, he's what Art Browse is, but on the NFL level, because Art Browse is now coaching high school football. He'll never get past high school football ever again. The same for
John Gruden.
because of the comments, what was stated, and the way that the world is going now, especially in this cancel now society.
Culture.
So I think he's done. He made his money, so like you won't get no tears from me from it. He said what he said. That's how he felt.
Let's not lose sight of why he got fired. And this is what got me disturbed. He didn't get fired because of racism.
Correct.
He got fired because he said he made homophobic comments about the gay community. And not saying that he shouldn't be penalized for saying something about the gay community, but why wasn't he about to get fired when he said something
About the Smith.
about the Morris Smith and these racist comments? And that lets me know we got a long way to go in the world, because the NFL has a brand, and that brand is really,
The shield.
man. They listen.
Shield the league.
Listen, Roger Goodell, I know he is losing sleep at night right now, because you got a lot of different groups, sponsorships. It's a lot of money involved with this. That's what people don't understand. And when you start talking about being racist and stuff like that, see, that's not gonna hurt their brand. That's not gonna hurt their money. You know, of course they don't want to come out and be bold about it and say, okay, we don't want a black owner. We don't want these black African Americans voicing their rights and their opinions about things that go on as far as the police brutality and things of that nature. But when it comes to other things that could affect their money, that's when they feel like they got to step in. And they knew saying something about people being gay and being and about the gay community, they knew that was going to affect their money. That's the only reason John Gruden is fired. And like you said, he had to be the sacrificial lamb. And so that's the only thing that got me pretty upset about it, is like, you know, even a post, I put it on my social media. 4/20/21, the Raiders put out "We Could Breathe."
We could breathe.
I took offense to that. George Floyd dies with a knee to his neck, and y'all put out a post and says "We can breathe." Come on, man. I mean, if that don't tell you all you need to know about the Raiders organization and Al Davis, Lord rest his soul, and his son, I don't know what you're watching. And so that's what got me more disturbed. Look, the stuff that John Gruden said, I'm not surprised. I'm not shocked. I wasn't at all when I saw it. Now, I was surprised how bold he was to send that in an email. I was surprised about that. But then I thought about it. The person you sending an email to must be talking that same language. Gotta be. For you to be that bold to send that message. So all in all, man, I feel some type of way that him saying the racist comments wasn't the reason he got fired and wasn't put on full display versus what he said about the gay community.
Here's the thing. The emails were a decade ago. We talking about 2011. He's working for ESPN at the time. He's not. His brother, I think, if I'm right, is the head coach of the team of at the time, the Redskins. And I think Bruce Allen was probably something that he somebody he worked with, obviously with the Raiders or with Tampa. I forgot which organization. So he had a relationship with Bruce Allen. And to what G alluded to, for you to be that bold and write those statements in the email, this is somebody who's responding to those emails in a very similar conversation. So, and again, Bruce Allen and the Washington football team are the one that's under investigation, and Dan Snyder. This is where these emails comes from. I think we all got to take the time and realize this. If we leave the homophobic messages out, John Gruden's still coaching this football team. He still has a job, and he's still coaching the football. Disregard the fact that he talked about DeMaurice Smith, Roger Goodell, and whoever else he was talking about.
Talked about Michael Sam. Called him a faggot.
And to me,
talked about Jeff Fisher.
Listen, he talked about, so at the time, if you take the Michael Sam comments out of it and all the homophobic comments out,
he still got a job.
He still got a
job.
job.
Probably would have suspended him maybe 4 games with pay.
Yeah.
You know,
and he went back with the team.
And everybody would have forgot about it.
Correct. And so, to me, the problem that I have is that at the end of the day, obviously he wasn't with the league. He was not an employee of the league, was not coaching, but it's who you hired. You got to know who this guy is. And at the end of the day, I think my biggest problem is that we live in such a culture to where I'm tired of people just getting canceled because they have homophobic comments or they have something along those lines. But they still can be disrespectful over here.
But you affecting their pockets. Man, look, it's all about money when it comes to this. And that's what the NFL is saying. That's basically what they're saying. You're going to affect our pockets. So if it's going to affect our pockets, we got to get rid of you.
I'll take it a step farther.
If being racist toward the black community
Doesn't change
or any other culture was
affect
going to affect their pockets, they would get rid of them. Simple.
I'll take it a step farther. It's the long game. What's the long game? The end game for the NFL has become global.
Yes.
All right. There's racist people
in
every race, country, state, territory, whatever you can think of, group of people that's a racist person over there. It's not nothing that's gonna shake. So if somebody come in here right now blatantly racist, like, all right, we didn't seen your type before.
Correct.
Keep it moving. As long as you don't touch me, I don't touch you. We just gonna sit on the east side of each other and just look
It's
at
a
each
norm.
other. You know what I'm saying? Like we've kind of
endured it.
We kind of we got our calluses from that.
Correct.
If so to speak. But being gay now and being open about it is something new. You know, like you got to think like this is, and I'm not like right is right, wrong is wrong. But I'm just saying like because I know several. You know, we all know several great people.
Right.
You know, what I'm saying there's good gay people, there's bad gay people. But here's the thing about it. When we was in high school, these are the same people that had to hide their lifestyle. It didn't come out to college.
Correct.
When they went away, when people couldn't say nothing about them, and you have some people to this day still won't come back to where they're from just because of that.
Correct.
So when you going global, now outside the United States, the UK is probably like the gay mecca of the world. They live it. They give people awards for it. They get knighted for it and all stuff. You're trying to get foot into that ground.
Yep.
So
Money.
as G said, as Fred said, at the end of the day, it's money. If I'm trying to get into Europe, I cannot be anti-gay against nothing. Think about a couple of years ago when the women's right movement that came into the NFL. They trying to get foot into Europe first. Well, with gays come women. That's just
Change of culture.
You know, that's just the norm
Culture's
of
starting
it.
to change.
You know, fashion
changes.
and all that good stuff. So you're trying to break mold into that, and the long game is how can I make everybody rich? No, you said something. Nope, you got to go.
Right.
What you said? Did you whisper? Yeah, you got to go.
You gotta go.
You got to go. Man, you hear it on what is NFL, not NFL TV, like when the guys are mic'd up and stuff, and you get the little cuts. You hear everybody from man, shut up, N-word, shut up, man, forget you. They still playing.
Yeah.
And it's some of your top stars. But let that mic come out, let that mic be hot, and he says, man, you are.
Yeah,
he done.
Yeah, he done.
He done. And that's the end goal. The end goal is for
To be global.
To be global. The biggest restriction right now, the biggest barrier for them being global is not racism. It's not racism. It's homophobia.
Yep.
And woman activists.
Women activists.
So
yep.
you got to break.
And that's another thing he said.
You gotta break
No woman
that.
should be in authority.
Right. And it's
you let you go.
And when you think about it, it's a reason why he was immediately removed from the Ring of Honor for Tampa Bay. Because you're talking about Bruce, not an organization who I compare to as the Spurs, not as championship, but I'm talking about like far as innovativeness.
Right.
First franchise to have 2 coordinators be black.
Right.
First franchise at the same time.
time.
Now they like
Well, I want to say 90% of the staff is black.
Yeah.
African Americans.
and women.
Yeah,
they
they
have
got women,
they
yeah.
have women coaches. They have women executives. They are full
They're the pioneer.
fledged like that. That's
They're
what
a pioneer.
That's what they hanging their hat on. And for one of their own to come out and say that
They gotta let it go.
It's
they,
like-
they won't be associated with.
we can't deal with you.
Can't do it.
And for those who are listening, and I'm gonna say this real quick before we move on. if you don't understand the dynamic behind what's going on in the world with the gay community and how powerful it is and how much money this could generate for not only in the NFL but businesses worldwide. Carl Nasby, the defensive end for the Raiders.
For the Raiders.
Comes out on Instagram, lets people know that he's gay, he's been gay, and before 24 hours,
He had the leading selling jersey.
he had the leading selling jersey, and he had over 1 million followers.
Powerful.
Over 1 million followers within 24 hours
Powerful.
and a leading selling jersey. So if that don't tell you all you need to know about what's going on in the world and how money driven all this is,
Powerful.
then you just blind.
You're blind.
You're blind leading the blind.
Ask the baby.
Powerful. The closer. Leave it at that.
Yeah.
Moving forward. The Kansas City Chiefs. Below 500, baby. If the playoffs were to start today.
I don't know why you looking at me.
What's going on? Have the Chiefs been dethroned? Could you? We're gonna start with you, G.
Since we was our rabbit ass mind.
For picking the Chargers to win the division.
Do y'all have the footage of me saying it?
Yes.
You said
Pull it
we
up
was
then.
crazy
Pull
out
it
of
up
our
then.
mind
Pull
for
it up
picking the
then.
Chargers
You gotta pull it
for
up
winning the
then.
division.
'Cause-
You said they got to beat the Chiefs.
Okay, don't worry. Next week it will be on previously said on FanView.
Yeah, I'm gonna have it.
I need you to pull it up.
I got you.
This is my thing with the Chiefs, all right? I think when you've been a team that's been to the last 2 Super Bowls,
Correct.
been on the mountaintop, Pat Mahomes has been 1 and 2 in the MVP race, I think you kind of start seeing a little complacency. And I think that's what you've seen. The next thing is this. They have no running game. So Pat Mahomes is having to pass the ball 40-plus times a game. I mean, you have to have some type of running game. When they won the Super Bowl, Damian Williams was a hell of a running back that year. I forgot who the backup was, who the second running back was in that room.
Darryl
and somebody else. Darryl wasn't the second one. Darryl was like really the third one in that committee. But I can't remember who the second was.
You said Damian Williams. Damian
Williams was the lead back.
Darryl Williams. Kareem Hunt was already gone.
But my point is, they have lack of a running game, and their defense is bad.
Was it Spencer Ware?
I don't think it was Spencer Ware. The defense is bad. I mean, they gave up 29 points to the Browns, 36 to the Ravens, 30 to the Chargers, 30 to the Eagles, 38 to the Bills. So they've given up 30 plus a game in every game this season. I don't care if you got Joe Montana, Joe Namath, Dan Marino back there. It's hard to be able to keep up with that consistency of scoring over 30 points every single game, especially when you don't have a running game. And I think that's what's going on here. I think they're going to figure it out. All right, like that. They got the Redskins this week. They got the Titans next week, and then they got the Giants. I think they're going to win these next 3 games. All right, and then we're going to be looking back and saying, they figured it out. I think Spagnuolo got to do some different things on defense. He really got to play a bend but don't break defense, because if you just keep on coming out thinking you can go man-to-man across the board, put Tyrann Mathieu deep high, go one deep high with Tyrann Mathieu and think that's going to be your savior, you got another thing coming. All right? You lost Justin Houston in free agency, one of their most elite pass rushers. Ali, you don't have him anymore. Really, all you got is Chris Jones,
who's hurt.
And Frank Clark.
And so when you add all of that, that's why these people are 2-3. Do I think they're in danger of missing the playoffs? No. Do I think they're going to still be in the mix to get to the Super Bowl? Yes. Yes, I do. Do I think they're going to represent the AFC in the Super Bowl? I don't know about that, because the Chargers, like y'all claim y'all been saying until I see the footage, got to go back and see it. The Chargers are looking really good. The Ravens are looking good. And the way Lamar Jackson is playing right now, this is ridiculous. I feel like I'm looking at somebody play Madden on a rookie mode. That's how good he's playing. So I think, let's not panic. Just like Aaron Rodgers said after the Saints beat the hell out of him in week 1. When he came to the podium and said, all calm and collected. That's what Pat Mahomes needed to do. He looked into the camera and he said, relax. And that's what y'all need to do. Relax.
Coaching.
I think it's about time that the NFL fans give defensive staffs they just do. Now, the greatest show on turf was the greatest show on turf for 2 seasons. The Saints' high-powered offense was the Saints' high-powered offense for a span of 3 seasons. They had to switch some stuff up. They got it back, but it was never consistent. Because this is what the fans kind of don't realize. These guys have over 20 people in that room watching everything, studying it. What's their tendencies? What they doing? Well, you know what? At the end of the day, you could allude to this. You don't be on like when as a defensive coach, no matter what type of player it is, we just break it down to a point and like, you know what? It's just football. It's just a post, a go, and a dig. Now, where it came from. Oh, look, this because we in this is opening up this. Or because we do this is what we're great at. We're great at cover 3.
Right.
So since we're great at cover 3, the dig will always be open because that's what we hang our staple on. So what if we play man with cover 3 principles? Oh, now the post is gone, the go is gone, and also the dig is being robbed right now. So it's certain things that they're doing. They division has drafted to beat them. That's one thing too. When you're the top dog, when you've been the top dog for long, you're the drift because you have no choice, no hope of making the playoffs unless you win your division. So they drafted to beat their division, and the defensive coaches got better, and the certain little things that they do now kind of eliminates things. On top of the fact that I don't believe that people realize how big of a loss Sammy Watkins was. Sammy Watkins was the outside guy that you could put Tyreek Hill away from, or Travis Kelce away to kind of open up the field on 3 levels because he was their best 50-50 ball in the air catcher for the past couple of seasons.
Oh, not better than Kelce.
50-50 on the outside. Yes, he was on the outside. I'm talking about on the outside. Watkins' routes never came in the inside. He did everything.
But sometimes they'll go trips left and put Kelce on that backside by itself.
Yeah, but the formation. I get that, but like this was
you talking about out of the receivers.
Yeah,
right,
yeah. Then you know what Tyreek Hill was. Kelce is a matchup prop. So now when you I lose that. I could just zone in on 2 people, contain Pat Mahomes, make a difference. So now it's I gotta outscore you because our defense. Look, even when they won the Super Bowl, their defense overachieved. They've never been ever since they lost Darryl Johnson. Their defense has been on a plummet down because they lost Darryl Johnson and Talmud Ali in the same year. They got rid the next year. They got rid of Marcus Peters. You have your best defenders
Losing
right
Justin Houston too.
Yeah,
right.
your but also Father Time was catching up with Justin Houston too, and he only played just pass rushing downs. So now your best players are on defense, and it's Tyrann Mathieu, and your next best is Daniel Sorensen. That's bad.
Chris Jones.
I'm talking about this season. Chris Jones Chris Jones hasn't touched the field this season. Yeah. So when your best players on your team are your 2 safeties, you're in trouble.
The problem with the Chiefs is that
their cornerback play is terrible too.
You can't name them.
If you go watch
Sneed from La Tech, they drafted in the 3rd round, 2nd round, whatever round he got picked in. I forgot who on the other side. But
he's really their safety. He's
really a safety. Yeah. So they had to move in the corner, right? But I really believe with Clyde. Edwards-Helaire going down. I think he out.
A couple of weeks.
I know he on injured reserve.
At least three.
At least 3 weeks. I mean, he got hurt last year.
Right.
I think them not having a consistent running game is hurting them. Anytime your quarterback is leading you in rushing, besides if you're the Ravens, because Lamar Jackson is just on a whole different level than everybody else. But anytime your quarterback is leading you in rushing, that is a problem. And that's one of the biggest issues.
The problem with this team is that the past 4 years, they have drafted horribly. Let's just be honest. They have not. You go look at their past 4 years. Matter of fact, let's talk about the year after Mahomes. They only had 1 first-round pick and a bunch of second-round picks. And none of these guys have. And the first round pick was Clyde Edwards-Helaire.
Which I thought was a great pick.
Which
That
was a
was
great
a
pick.
first round pick.
Yeah,
That was
the
a
first
round pick.
It was a great pick. After that, they've done nothing to replenish their roster in terms of getting production out of
I
them.
thought William Gay was a good pick.
Solid.
Mississippi State.
Yeah.
That's a good pick. That was
He's
a good
solid.
pick.
He's
That was a
solid.
good pick.
But look
I
at
thought Snead was a good pick when they had him at safety.
Again, he's not playing safety. He's playing corner.
Yeah.
They have not drafted corners. They have not drafted receivers. They have lost left and right tackle. They did nothing to replace Eric Fisher or the right tackle.
Well, Eric Fisher was a horrible pick. Like he had a resurgence when
Mahomes got there.
When Eric Bellamy was moving him around, using him like as an extra tight end and stuff like that. Like, cause think about it, like they set him on a bench until old boy got hurt.
Again, but the problem is when you start looking at the last 4 years of drafting, at the end of the day, when you talk about a team and you're building, you're trying to continue to remain some level of dominance, you got to do this through the draft. Their last 4 years have not been productive for them.
Yeah.
And so when you start look at the Saints, and we're going to be able to move on. When we got that Kamara draft class with Kamara, Trey Hendrickson, Ryan Ramczyk, Marshawn Lattimore, we had 3 consecutive years of excellent picks. When you're trying to build your team and trying to get your thing going, you got to do it through the draft. They did it well initially when they had got Tyreek. They had got Tyreek. They had got Patrick Mahomes. They had got somebody else in the team. They had got Chris Jones. They was doing well. They built that team through the draft. The past 4 years, they have not done well.
They drafted
the Chargers.
D Ford.
Have done well.
They got D
They
Ford.
got D Ford, and they got traded D Ford for Frank Clark because D Ford went to the 49ers.
And
they did well.
Marcus
they have not
Peters.
dropped well.
And right before we move on, that's why the Saints consistently are a good team. Like even this year alone, a Debo rookie starting, had a really good game Sunday.
Yep.
P. Werner starting, led us in tackles. Peyton Turner showing spurts. You know what I'm saying?
Drafting well.
The Saints have been known to draft well and keep that level of consistency every season because of it.
And the Chiefs just have not done it. And I think the teams like the Buffalo Bills, the teams like the Chargers, they all have learned how to draft well, and it's catching up to them. But moving on, I do want to get into some college football here. I think it's the first time in, BCS history that 5 teams in the Big Ten.
We ain't not in the BCS.
Well, this is the BCS, championship run. I mean, it used to be the FBS, but now we're in the BCS. No, I'm sorry, we're in the FBS now.
Yeah, that's what I'm telling you.
BCS is gone. Gotcha. Okay. First time in the FBS history, we got 5 teams in the Big Ten on the top 5. 5. Now, I'm a big proponent because one of my Wolverines are in it. Now, there's a lot of football left to be played.
A lot of football left to be played.
But if we look at it from schematically, we got 4 teams. Obviously, the Big Ten now divided between East and West. 4 of them on the Big Ten East, and obviously I will rank that number 2 in the country is in the West. Is this going to be the first year that we're going to see 2 Big Ten teams in the college playoffs?
I honestly think like this is the best chance you get because with Oregon going down earlier, I don't see they don't have a strong enough rest of the schedule to climb back into the Pac-12. Even if they win the Pac, they went out, they make it to the Pac-12 championship. I don't see their resume being good enough as a 1-loss Wolverine team or a 1-loss Iowa team, Penn State. Just because of the gauntlet that y'all have set up right now, with Alabama going down and now having to take a longer road, quote unquote, to the SEC championship. If Georgia keeps doing what they're doing, Georgia will be in the ACC. Who's there? That? You know what I'm saying? so I think this is the year of Big Ten right now, unless in G words, unless they just piss down their pants. The rest of the way, this is the best opportunity. Because right now, I was looking like the best team in college football, not named Georgia, all around. They just don't do it sexy though. Right. So that's why. But when you lace them up against them, it's like
physical.
But this is Iowa history. Around week 8 or week 9, they have the worst game
and it be against a non-ranked opponent, and then like a Northwestern State come out and beat them, Iowa State to come out of nowhere and just beat them. You know, that's been Kirk Friend's problem since he's been the head coach at Iowa.
GSportz.
I just don't see two teams getting in because I think they're going to beat each other up. Like Ohio State still has to play Michigan State. They still have to play Penn State. They still have to play Michigan. So in that 4-game run, they play somebody else too. I'm forgetting about somebody.
Could be a Northwestern. I know Michigan.
I know they play Michigan State, Penn State, Penn State, Michigan. It might be 3. But anyway, I just feel like they're going to beat each other up. And it's going to give a team like Cincinnati, who I think won't lose a game. The only team on their schedule left that I think could even give them a game or possibly upset them is SMU. So I think Cincinnati runs the table. And what they did at Notre Dame on the road, I think that has got the committee really paying attention to them. And as long as they don't have any nail biters against teams that they shouldn't be having nail biters against, I think Cincinnati has a chance to get in. And I think I don't think anybody in the Big Ten goes undefeated. I think whoever wins the Big Ten is going to have one loss. So, of course, they're going to get one team in. I just don't see 2.
I think when you're looking at it wholeheartedly, I get it. Alabama has had a loss.
Mm-hmm. They lost early, though. It's always good to lose early.
They lost early, and Alabama has what I would call college football prestige.
But if Texas A&M run a table, they like Alabama has no way to redeem
They have no way to
themselves
recover themselves
because they won't make it to the SEC championship.
Correct. Now, with all that being said, you still got Oklahoma, who to me can win the Big 12, which is, again, I don't know who's there, and I'm not really counting Clemson this year. But Georgia, at their current pace, is going to be there, and I will agree with you when they come out in Cincinnati. That Big Ten East is going to be a gauntlet when they all start facing each other. The dominoes going to start to fall. They all going to knock each other off. The dominoes going to start to fall.
And then what's so bad about it, they play each other late.
They play each other at the wrong time.
Okay, well, let me play devil's advocate here because y'all the one with the dog in the fight with the Big Ten. As if y'all two are on a committee and Iowa goes undefeated and whoever comes out the East beats them in the championship, but let's say beats them by a field goal. Let's say the final score is 40-43. Does a one-loss Iowa team still get the nod?
How many losses do the team out the East have?
That's right now. Let's say it's Michigan. Let's say Michigan runs the table. So that means they beat Ohio State, Michigan State, Penn State. They already played Penn State, right?
No, they didn't play Penn
State. Okay, so and they beat Wisconsin when they was ranked. So that's 4 strong quality wins, and they beat the number 2 team.
I think that Wisconsin Wisconsin is 2-3 right now.
But
so
at the time,
I know, but the committee gonna look at it how they looking right now. At that time, when it's time to do the
What we saying? So you got a one-loss Michigan and a long-loss Iowa, no loss Iowa, and
Michigan wins like 43-40 in overtime, and now you got Michigan who has beaten 5 teams ranked, not counting Wisconsin, that could possibly be 6 that could go back in there, and you got Iowa whose only loss is an overtime field goal against Michigan in the Pac-12 championship. You don't think Iowa gets this?
I think Iowa would jump. Would stay in front of, let's say Clemson is on the outside looking in.
I don't see. To me, there's no way in the world Clemson even in.
Or let's say Oklahoma.
Even in the
let's say OU's on the outside looking in.
They have a loss though.
Right, but Iowa and Michigan will have a loss, and they played in the Big Ten championship. And let's say Michigan won against Iowa, and Iowa was undefeated. So Iowa's on the outside
looking in. So you said Michigan and Iowa both have one loss.
Yes.
Yeah. So because
that's 2 teams.
Well, Michigan's undefeated right now.
Right.
No. So let's say Michigan runs it. Michigan runs it, and they beat, and Iowa runs it, and Iowa has 1 loss, and they 1 losses against a Michigan team in the championship by 3 points. To me, that's a scenario where I say
put Iowa in.
Michigan, Georgia 1, Iowa 4. Michigan,
Cincinnati.
However it falls out in that situation, I see a scenario like that where, I feel like Iowa deserves.
So if Oklahoma run the table and Cincinnati run the table, then what?
Oklahoma has a loss already, right?
Yes.
They lost?
Yeah, they
Oklahoma
lost.
has a loss.
They lost to Oregon.
They lost to Oregon.
They lost to Oregon. So that's
Oklahoma?
Yeah, they lost to Oregon.
I didn't know that.
Like the third CJ Beckford had like a career game or something against them.
They lost. I know that for sure.
They lost to Oregon, and then Oregon a week or two
No,
later
sorry, no,
lost.
Oklahoma's still undefeated. My bad. The OU is still undefeated.
Yeah.
Who did Oregon?
You think about Ohio State.
Okay.
Ohio State
Yeah,
lost.
Oklahoma undefeated.
Okay,
I
okay,
wasn't
okay.
tripping. Oklahoma stayed undefeated too. But my point is, if Oklahoma undefeated,
They get in.
Cincinnati undefeated,
Then
and they have to win. They gotta win their games where they are heavily favored convincingly.
Right.
If they do that, Georgia, of course, number one.
Right. Gets in.
But
I
see-
can't see two teams from the Big Ten getting in there.
But then my on a flip side of it, I look at it like this: Oklahoma hasn't won convincingly in none of the games against tough opponents.
But if you undefeated,
yeah, I get it, but it's like, but then it's like who did you play?
They ranked fourth in the country.
Clemson used to slip by because all right, they'll play a decent week one opponent, and some Miami they'll beat the snot out of Miami or Virginia Tech, who will be ranked at the time when they play them, and if they beat Miami, they'll beat Virginia Tech, who's ranked in the so that's three. Oklahoma, like Texas, is their only ranked win.
Nah, I mean they got that's one of their ranked wins. They still got to play Baylor. Baylor not ranked, but Baylor 5-1, and they still got to play Oklahoma State. Oklahoma State undefeated right now. So, I mean,
And then like Spencer Rattler is no longer your starting quarterback right now.
but I mean, what I'm saying is if they're undefeated,
They're
they
gonna
got
put
to
OU
get
in.
in.
They're gonna put OU in.
They can't, like Oklahoma can't afford to lose one game in the Big Ten. Like Iowa, if they get to the championship with one loss or they lose in the championship, they still have a shot. Oklahoma don't have any room for error at all.
So I think what Coach Chin's saying is that, listen, if Iowa and Michigan, let's say those two teams made the Big Ten championship, they both are undefeated, and it comes down to a nail biter where it comes down to a field goal, and let's say Michigan wins. I think what Coach Chin probably is saying is that I will be fourth. Let's say you put Michigan third, and Georgia will be one, or Oklahoma two.
I'll flip.
Cincinnati be out.
I'll make it harder this way. Let's say Iowa's the one that win. They win 40-40. They win 43-40.
Yeah, because Michigan has more ranked opponents to play,
and especially because of that gauntlet. And you telling me Michigan only loss is the overtime field goal
to Iowa.
And
You don't even have overtime, as long as it's close.
No, I'm saying, but I just icing on the cake.
Right.
Overtime field goal, and now as a committee, you sitting there saying, man, do I take undefeated Oklahoma or one-loss Michigan that beat Ohio State, Penn State, Michigan State, Wisconsin, and lost to Iowa, the number 2 ranked team, by 3 points in overtime? That's and I'm not even playing on Michigan being y'all team. I'm just talking about strictly
stats. Yeah.
But then would you put Cincinnati on the outside, knowing that Cincinnati went to Notre Dame and beat them? Oklahoma doesn't have a win like that to me at this point. It's still early.
So if they beat Oklahoma State. If Oklahoma State
beat Oklahoma State, it's like
if Oklahoma State runs the table and they meet up with them the last game of the season and they beat Oklahoma State and that's Oklahoma State only loss.
So
that's a big win.
Yeah.
That's a big win.
Yeah. It's an interesting conversation for weeks to come.
In that scenario you just said, dude, I think Cincinnati would be on the outside looking.
You would put Cincinnati on the outside and put Oklahoma in.
If Oklahoma undefeated.
Yeah.
If Oklahoma undefeated, they ain't.
But let's
Cincinnati be on the outside looking in.
But let's say
Iowa and
Michigan
would be in.
Let's say they falter. Because to me, I'm having a tough time not putting Cincinnati in. Strictly off of how they playing and that they went to Notre Dame and beat them. Like it wasn't like they beat them.
Yeah.
I'm Honestly, I'm just playing devil advocate because my team ain't got a shot at him.
Makes sense.
I think it's going to be interesting for the weeks to come. Obviously, the month of October is going to be a gauntlet for the Big Ten East. It's going to be funny to see how 4 of the top 10 teams battle it out to see who goes to represent the Big Ten East to get to the Big Ten championship, and Iowa can take care of business up to that point, still be an undefeated team, and still be ranked second in the country. That Big Ten championship is set to be box office. That's the stage that is coming to be, especially if you have 2 undefeated Big Ten teams. It's going to be a box office game. Looking forward to it. But we got to talk about something else today. We ain't talked much about high school football last week, y'all. The state of Louisiana football. We played some weeks now. I'm going to start with you, Coach Hand. What are some of the surprises and disappointments of some of the prospects, of some of the top producers in high school football that you have seen up to this point?
Well, I won't say prospects because that's more because I don't.
We'll leave that for
we leave that for the
GSportz.
expertise. I won't even pretend.
We leave it to GSportz.
But I'm not. Hey, I gotta tip my hat. I'm gonna do it the right way. I got HL Bourgeois is a surprise for me. Like, I'm not like not even joking. Just being knowing that like what the River Parishes is going through,
Right.
From Ida. Like everybody's got hit, you know what I'm saying, but like not like them. When we had Mr. Trahan on earlier, I told him one of the surprise teams that I thought was going to be doing some phenomenal things was going to be Ellender this year, and it comes out to be their counterpart losing your head coach,
Right.
because of what happened, and they still going to go out and beat the East St. John. The way that you beat the East St. John, to me, like that's something that HL Bourgeois wasn't doing years.
Never.
You know what I'm saying? I was trying to be nice. Trying to be nice. Never. To Union Parish, like they play some a pretty tough schedule, but the way that they're playing now, the antics, you starting to see videos and stuff come out about them and stuff. It's just is shocking. It's real shocking. Lutcher, I'm real surprised with
That's
Lutcher
my shout
right
out
now.
to them.
Lutcher right now is wow.
They finally beat St. James.
On the flip side of it, St. James. It's like wow, and I don't talk bad about no program, because I understand the rigors of being a high school coach, but I know what it's like to have a Savion Jones, to have a Shamar Schmidt,
Right.
to have have these world figures, and then boom, now you see, now it's Dad's senior year. It's like, Sean senior year is like all the help that you've been associated with since your freshman year is now gone. It's got to be you, and it's just you. It's easy to game plan against you because you're a wide receiver and you're not that quarterback. You can only affect the game one type of way. And the ball got to get to you for the defector. So it's like, to me, like those are some surprises. And I gotta give a shout out to Ponchatoula. It's tough when you're a team expected to do certain things, have to have a mandatory break because of stuff that's not in your control, and to still come out in a very underrated district in 5A, and doing what you're doing. So, like, to me, those are the ones.
For me, I think one of the surprises, and this is no disrespect to their program, is Carver. Carver is 5-0 right now. They play Warren Easton on Saturday at 2:30 at Pan Am. That's gonna let me know a lot about Carver. We know Carver always have athletes and always got the talent to be able to compete with everybody. So when they go against Easton on Saturday, I think that's gonna be a clear telling of how good their program has come. So I can't wait to see how that's gonna turn out. One of my surprises has been Woodlawn, out of Baton Rouge, led by Marcus Reiner. They're 2-3 right now, or 1-3, something like that. Now they played a hard schedule. They played U High, they played Zachary, they played West Monroe. So they haven't win against any cupcakes. Right. But I still thought they could have got at least a win or two, at some point this season. And then they got Dutchtown tomorrow night.
Yeah.
So it just don't get no easier for Woodlawn. But I do think this is going to pay off for them when the playoffs come, especially when they get in district play, because they're not going to play anybody that good. And you high, or they might see West Monroe possibly in the playoffs, but they shouldn't see anybody like that at all come district time. H.L. Bourgeois, my alum, I'm very surprised losing the head coach, beating East St. John. That got to be the first win against the East St. John probably in over a decade. Might be longer. I don't know. But Sterling Washington, the interim head coach, he's been doing a great job at HL. Kudos to them. Hopefully they can get the momentum going. Mm-hmm. Last Saturday at Tag Omelet, Carl Warren Easton, close to 10,000 people in the attendance.
Office.
Went down to the wire just like I thought it would. I thought if you are a high school fan of football, that atmosphere and the level of talent that was on that field on Saturday night is something that should be shot in a movie. Because you had Division I prospects all over the field. The coaching on both teams, phenomenal. Intense coaching, detail-oriented coaches. Just to see, and predominantly black coaches, coaching staffs. To see that in that type of atmosphere and see the media that was involved in that game and how it all played out, 20-18, call being down 18-7 at the half, you live for the moments. You hate to see somebody lose, but I do think that Warren Easton is a team that
You hate to see Warren Easton lose. Let's be honest.
No, I ain't gonna say that. You know what I'm saying? But you just hate to see anybody lose in that game because they play so hard. I can't wait to see how that's gonna unfold when the brackets come out in the playoffs. Are they gonna put Easton on the same side as Carl? Are they gonna put on the opposite side? And I think 4A is stronger than people think this year. With Westgate. I think Westgate is a team you gotta really watch out for this year. Karen Crow is another team that defending state 4A champions. I know they lost 22 scenes, but they're gonna be a team that you do not want to play in that playoffs, especially with that vet office that they run. And then you got I just had a brain freeze. Neville. Neville is looking like they coming back to they old resurgence of themselves. That and they go down there and play them on the road. That's gonna be tough. So I think 4A is just not a 2-man race no more. It's gonna be interesting to see how the bracket's gonna play out in 4A. So like I say, that's my surprises. And how I felt about the season thus far this year.
I think it's been due to the circumstances of high school football. Obviously, when you're looking at the tri-parish, you're looking at areas in terms of Tangible Whole Parish, St. James Parish, obviously St. John Parish. Man, you gotta give shouts out to Lutcher. 4-0. Beating St. James. I mean, you got to give a lot of credit to what they have to endure. Like I said, if you're from the tri-parish or you're laying away from St. Charles, Terrebonne, those parishes, you had a lot of significant damages. But for them to be out here and be undefeated, man, that's a surprise to me. Yeah. Watch those kids and play football and watch their dominance. Obviously, St. James is not, since they lost the call. Has taken some steps backwards. Ponchatoula looked really good, too. I really like them. Yeah. But I'm really impressed with Lutcher. That's my biggest surprise of them all.
Yeah. And this weekend, y'all got a big game. Rivalry game against St. Helena. That's going to be a big game. Westgate plays St. Aug. I know St. Aug is winless right now, but I still think that's going to be a pretty good game. U-High versus Madison Prep. That's going to be a really good game. So you got some good games this weekend that I'm going to really be paying attention to.
I think as far as our game, I think we up for the challenge. We played a tougher schedule than we played in the past. We didn't touch a 2A opponent till we got into district. We played a pretty good Sumner team, won against them. Played a good Patterson team, won against them, and then we played Lakeshore 4A team, won against them. So now that we getting kids back from displacement, getting people back from injury, trying to get stuff, and just take on in my mind like the toughest district in 2A. We won against Varno last week, so this is the one that everybody always talks about. So just,
time for that stretch run.
just try to take care of business. But on the flip side of the team that I'm surprised about, and they played a real tough schedule as well, Scotlandville.
Yeah.
Team that has state championship aspirations.
They played a tough schedule too.
Yeah, I just thought, like they have like one of the best offense in high school football in the state of Louisiana, regardless of classification. I just think once the defense catch up to what the
They got a lot
level
of on defense
to the offense, I think it might put Lester in that position to where he can finally get over that Rummel, Saint Aug, that big hump in the playoffs, especially knowing that you're gonna have like a possibly won't, if you make it to a high seed,
Right.
you won't play the game the first week of playoffs. So that 2-week bye type deal.
I mean, anytime you got a 5-8 team and you see players playing both sides of the ball, you depleted. And that's what Lester's been dealing with this season. He just depleted on defense, so he's been having a lot of his guys from offense playing both sides of the ball. Hopefully, by the end of district going into that playoffs, he's at full strength, because if they are, they're gonna be something to reckon with in that select division.
Okay, we still got some time left in the segment, so there's some questions I want to ask our resident expert. What are some prospects in this class that you think possibly improve they stock thus far in the season, or possibly like never want to give a kid a bad name, but possibly need to do more work to hold their standards?
I've been tweeting about him since week 1. I know people are gonna say I'm being biased, but Jonathan Bax, the defensive end from Endicott, class of 2023, 6'2", 230, 240 pounds.
Just got a Tulane offer.
I got the Northwestern State offer and the McNeese offer right after the game against Warren Easton. He ended the game with 4.5 sacks and 4 TFLs. This kid is one of the best edge rushers that I've seen this year. I'm torn between him and the kid from Kennedy, Deshaun Baptiste. Deshaun Baptiste is another one that I've been paying attention to at Kennedy, man. He's about 6'2". You want to talk about twitching and being able to bend, come around that edge. Deshaun Baptiste is somebody I think should be getting way more attention than he's getting from colleges. I think he has one offer from Southeastern. As a matter of fact, they play Carr on tomorrow. So that's a good game to try to, get some exposure. And if you do a really good job against an offensive line that Carr has, that should gain you some more attention. So I think Deshaun Baptiste is somebody at Kennedy who is one of my favorite prospects, and I think that I've been paying attention to him since last year. John Hubbard from Scotlandville, about 5'7", 5'8". He is the do-it-all player for Scotlandville. They put him in the backfield, they put him in the slot, kickoff returns, punt returns. He is one of the best playmakers I've seen this year from Scotlandville High School. I think he is a player that's going to start getting some attention as well once the season is over and people are able to evaluate his film. Bishop Davis at Ponchatoula. I know they put him at quarterback sometime. They move him all over. Bishop Davis from Ponchatoula, and he's only a sophomore. Bishop Davis is going to be one of the better athletes in the state by the time his senior year comes. So, that's just a few prospects I could name all day about, kids that I've been evaluating since the season started. But those players come to mind early for me that I think that people need to start really paying attention to.
Bishop Davis, Ponchatoula, Old Tangy.
My next question for the resident expert.
That's crazy.
Nah, for real though. Look, G, tell everybody when was your first Carr Warren Easton game on the sidelines back when it was GSportz.
Probably so that was 2015.
So
it had to be I don't think it was 2015.
Probably like 13, huh?
I started in 2015.
No, I'm saying like with your first game.
Oh,
Them-
my first game ever seen Warren Easton and Carr. It was Tyron Johnson senior.
Okay.
Tyron Johnson senior. For y'all that don't know who Tyron Johnson is, he was the number 1 receiver in the country, not the state, in the country. Coming out of high school, he had committed to LSU. That's when they had Lefty, Deshaun Capers-Smith, who went to Texas A&M. They had Chris, I forgot his first name. He went to Texas A&M, played receiver. They had Dwayne Thomas. He went to Texas A&M for linebacker. They had the kid that played DN, I forget his name, went to Arizona. They was loaded. Alden Smith was a sophomore that year.
Yeah.
For Edna Carr. And they ended up upsetting. Easton was number 1 in the state. Carr was like number 11 or something like that. And Carr went in the Pan Am on the road and upset at Easton. Everybody thought that Carr was about to get blew out because that was a rebuilding year for Carr. But that was my first experience. It came down to the wire. I'll never forget. Carr is going down to win the game. The game is tied. And Alden fumbles the ball. Easton scooping scores a touchdown. They go up. Missed the extra point. Carr comes back down on the very next possession. Alden Clark leads them down the field. They score a touchdown, win the game, I think either by 1 or by 2. That's when Nathaniel Jones was still the head coach at Carr. Bryce was the offensive coordinator. And that's where the saying came from when they put it all on the shirts. When he started saying 33-32 Huntley Drive. And they started putting it on the shirts. He said it like to Channel 8 News or something like that, and it just went viral. And people start putting it on the shirts. Now you see everybody putting the address of their school on their shirts, and that's where it came from that game when Easton played Carr that year.
So, from your first time just as a spectator to actually when you started your company and started covering prospects, from that game from 13 to 15 to now 2021, to see how that rivalry has gone as far as media coverage. You know, everybody in the state wanted to know what's going on about it. You know, because when we was in high school, that was a game that nobody would go to.
Oh, hell no.
Simply because
that didn't start till Tony Hall got there.
If you didn't have the hood pass card, you were not allowed to go in there. To see now, especially look at Carr campus now, look at Eastern campus now, to see how times have changed. You know, how does that make you feel as somebody who does this does it from a living, and now you have more access than your ESPNs who Carr played on for early in the season, and to be able to actually you could probably actually write a book from the outside in watching this program from where it was to where it is now, especially this rivalry game.
I think it's just a testament to the administration at Warren Easton, the administration at Edna Carr, who was phenomenal. They believe in sports, and they're big on school spirit and things of that nature, and putting a good product on the field. Is a big ups to Jared Phillips and his staff, a big ups to Bryce and his staff. Even when Coach Jalute was there and when Nathaniel Jones was there, they have a sense of pride amongst the two schools. And then people got to understand, Warren Easton has had a lot of coaches that's come from Edna Carr. All right, so when you add that into the equation, that just adds more fuel to the fire when it comes to that rivalry. And let's stop saying it's a rivalry, because they haven't beat Carr in the last 9 times.
Yeah,
or 10 times.
It's 10. That was 12.
It's 12.
I thought it was 12.
I'm shorting them. 12 times. So it's not a rivalry. Now, is it a great game? Is it a great atmosphere? Is it good to see those the talented and caliber of kids on both teams play against each other? Yes, but it's not a rivalry. A rivalry is when you kind of going back and forth, or you might win 2 years in a row and then you come back and lose. That has not been the case between these two teams. But I think what Jerry is doing over there at Warren Easton and what Bryce is doing over there at Carr, and what they're doing outside of football with those kids,
right,
is really what has been nothing short of amazing, because that's why you see that type of atmosphere when they play. because those kids will run through a wall for them. They'll run through a wall for them. I mean, when Eastern lost that game on Saturday, some of them kids was crying like they was at a funeral. And it's because the sense of pride that their coaches have put in them. They don't want to let their coaches down. They don't want to see their coaches disappointed and losing. And so that just like I said, it's just a testament to them coaching staffs, man, and what they do with them kids outside of the game of football. Because we all know, and you know, coach, and you a coach, if you just making it about football and that's it, the kids not gonna play that hard on Friday night. They're not gonna play that hard on Friday night. So that's something that I've noticed out the gate about both of those programs.
Whew. Much to get into.
Hey, uncanny, unfiltered.
There it goes. Well, listen, that's our show, guys. Listen, it's FanView Live, Real Fans Talk Sports, New Orleans Talk Network. Listen, subscribe to this FanView Live page each and every week, each and every Thursday for noon. We'll be live on this show. Again, we're on Facebook, we're on YouTube, we're on IG, we're on Twitter. Don't forget to follow GSportz. Who you covering this week, man?
I'm actually torn between St. Helena and Meat or Westgate and St. Aug. I'll make my decision when I wake up in the morning.
Ooh. That means he's going to St. Aug. He don't want to drive that far.
It is Southeastern homecoming, so I will be in Hammond. Just saying.
No phone coverage in St. Helena.
You act like I live there. That ain't me. Shit. That's you for having bad service.
That's the only bad. I won't be able to tweet during the game.
Y'all like y'all.
I couldn't tweet. I really couldn't tweet with the Eastern and Colt game Saturday. I mean, for like 2 quarters, I couldn't even get my tweets off because the service was so bad. So many people there.
Got high hopes for you, boy. We gonna see.
We'll see.
Listen, y'all tune in next week, each and every Thursday. FanView Live, Real Fans Talk, and I will have that footage on you.
Pull it up
in the Chiefs.
Pull it up.
It will be there.
Allegedly.
It'll be on the previous on FanView.
Allegedly.
I have it.
Can't wait.
All right, Bart Scott.
You did.
You did.
Cardinals are 5-0. Kyler Murray, man, continues to get it done and quiet all the naysayers.
And Lamar Jackson is the MVP.
You wouldn't talk about Lamar Jackson, though.
Lead.
You wasn't talking about Lamar Jackson.
He ain't got
the
no
bandwagon full, but you can run behind it.
You know what I'm saying? Well, I'm
you
fat.
can run behind.
I'm fat. I ain't running behind nothing. Besides Lil Debbie, baby. I'm coming home, Lil Debbie.
That's FanView Live, Real Fast Talk Sports. Y'all tune in next week, never Thursday for noon. You did.
Zebra cakes on deck.
The day to get you is over.
Look, y'all can follow me on Twitter and Instagram at BFredJones.
Follow me on Instagram and Twitter. On Instagram, _GSportz with a Z on the end. And on Twitter, G_sports with a Z on the end.
You can follow me on Instagram at big_homie_hen and on Twitter at HeyYoU15.
Listen up. Your customers, our listeners, could be hearing about your business right now. Yeah, right now. Don't miss out on the opportunity to advertise with NewOrleansTalkNetwork.com. Call our business department today at 504-475-4793 to hear about our great rates. NewOrleansTalkNetwork.com. We provide the people, you provide the business.
FanView Live, new time, 12 p.m. each and every Thursday on the Walls Talk Network. Join me, DatBoyFred.
GSportz in the building.
Coach Hurricane Hint.
Yeah, I'm woke. Elevate.
Ball game.
You dig.